All right, let's jump right in. Today we're talking about a really powerful shift in thinking. It's about getting out of the business of building one-off products and instead building a system, an engine that can churn out infinite offers. It's all about adopting the factory mindset.
Okay, just look at this for a second. This is wild. On one end of the spectrum, you have a $27 offer, right? Something simple, like an AI twin. And on the other end, you have a $2 million transformation program for an entire enterprise. So how on earth can a single operating system, just one way of thinking, produce offers for such completely different customers at such different price points? That's the big question we're going to unpack.
And that's our first big idea here. This isn't about trying to run 5 or 6 different businesses. Nope. This is about building one single, unified brain, a single operating system that's flexible enough to create something for every single level of the market.
So here it is. This is the fundamental shift you have to make in your head. You have to stop seeing yourself as someone who just builds a product. You're not. You're the architect of an entire factory, a plant that manufactures offers. This one little change is the key to unlocking some serious scale and, maybe more importantly, freedom.
I love this way of thinking about it. These different price points, they're not separate businesses. Just think of them as different aisles in the same supermarket. You got the budget aisle with the $27 micro offers, and you've got the high-end organic aisle with the $250,000 solutions. They serve different people, sure, but they are all run by the same back-end logistics, the same core operating system.
Okay, so we've seen the aisles, we've seen the products on the shelves, but what about the factory itself? What's the actual blueprint? What are the core pieces that make this whole machine tick? See, this factory isn't just a cool metaphor. It's made up of 6 real, tangible systems. First, you need an offer generator to actually come up with and package the products. Then, an audience router to make sure the right offers get in front of the right people. Of course, you need a checkout and contract layer to get paid, and a repeatable fulfillment engine to deliver the goods. You gotta have traffic and distribution to get people in the door. And then, and this is so crucial, you need a data and feedback loop to see what's working so you know what to double down on and what to kill.
So why would you go through all the trouble of building this? It's simple. Freedom. Optionality. In a world that's changing faster than ever, being a one-trick pony, a one-product company, that is a massive risk. This factory model means you're never trapped. You're not stuck at one price point, and you're not stuck in one market that could just vanish overnight.
All right, now we're gonna zoom out one more time. We've seen the factory floor, we've seen the blueprint, but what's the engine at the very heart of it all? What's the core philosophy that makes all those 6 systems work together perfectly?
And here it is. It's called the Trinity Operating System. The best way to think about this is as a framework that creates a perfect balance between who you are, your core identity, what you do, your actions, and what you learn, your wisdom. It's not just some business buzzword. It's a living, breathing system for growth that you can apply to pretty much anything.
The very first piece is the perfect core. This is your foundation. It's your identity, your truth, your non-negotiables. This part of the system is meant to be slow, it's quiet, it's uncompromising. It's the bedrock that everything else is built on top of.
And then, in total contrast to that slow, steady core, you have 10x faithful action. This is all about speed, man. It's about courage and just massive execution out on the edges of the system. This is where you move without fear, without hesitation, because you trust that the core is solid and the direction is right. It's where all the experimentation happens. And finally, you have reconciliation. This is the feedback loop. This is where all the wisdom and maturity comes from. It's constantly asking, what did we learn? What worked? What didn't? How does this make our core stronger? It purifies your results and makes sure you only upgrade that core foundation with what's true and what works. And this quote just nails the entire philosophy, doesn't it? Perfectly aligned at the core. Fearless in action. Humble in reflection. That elegant balance, that's the secret sauce. That's how the highest performers, whether they're people or systems, really operate.
So what does all this give you? Well, it creates a truly unfair advantage. And the secret isn't trying to mix everything together. It's about intelligently layering these different speeds and mindsets.
Just look at this comparison. It's so clear. Most people, most companies fall into one of 2 traps. They either try to be perfect everywhere and they end up being way too slow, or they try to be fast everywhere and they just get sloppy and things break.
The Trinity OS approach is completely different. It says demand perfection at the core, but unleash absolute radical speed at the edges.
And this is exactly why this approach wins over and over again. You can move faster than the fast teams because you're not wasting time debating your core principles. You're more durable than the careful teams because your core is actually correct and stable. And because of that clean reconciliation loop, you learn faster than both of them. You end up amplifying what works, not amplifying your mistakes.
So this brings us to the final, widest possible view. When you really get this layered mindset, you're not just playing the game better than everyone else. You're playing a completely different game, one that most of your competitors can't even see.
And the ultimate result is this: competition basically becomes irrelevant. It's not because you worked harder or had more money, it's because they are fundamentally playing the wrong game. They're all trying to build a better product, while you're busy building a better factory.
So what do these invisible games actually look like? Well, instead of just starting another AI agency, you build an AI agency factory, a system that spits out agencies for other people. Instead of selling AI tools one at a time, you start leasing out an entire AI workforce as a single service. You stop just building a business, and you start architecting entire belief systems and ecosystems.
And that really is the question to leave you with. It reframes everything you do. Take a hard look at what you're working on right now and ask yourself honestly, are you just building a product or are you building the factory? Because the answer to that question could change everything.